So we'll now reconvene the Awards and Grant Committee meeting, and I'd like to welcome Diane Gates, presenting for writing for the Disabled Association, Wairarapa Group.
Where would you like me?
Up on this here at the front. Okay. That's for you. And Diane, I'll just go over the process. The process is you have 10 minutes to present, and that's 7 minutes for your presentation and 3 minutes for questions after that. And the meeting's being live streamed, so you're being filmed right now, and you'll hear a bell after 7 minutes, and that will just give you a heads up that it's almost question time. So go for it, Diane, the floor is yours.
I'm going to read. I don't know if people generally read, but I feel I can get through more if I read.
Yep, okay.
So, hello to everybody. I'm Diane Gates. I'm the president of Masterton, Wairarapa, Masterton Riding for the Disabled. I just thought I'd just quickly introduce the stars of the show. These are the ponies we have down there at the moment. There's Mimi and Jack are best friends. They've been best friends for years. Mimi retired, so now Noah and Jack are really good friends. Jack and Ben are friends. However, Ben doesn't like Noah. Ben is best friends with Argo, who's a mare, so they're like, she's in love with Ben. And they've been together for years, and then along came Pixie, who's a lot younger than Argo, and Argo also loves Ben. So now Argo doesn't like Pixie, and then along came Spice, who's younger again, who also loves Ben. So none of the mares like one another, because everybody loves Ben, and all Ben cares about is grass, a paddock full of grass. So he's oblivious to all the attention. So that's our current crew.
Go Ben.
And so are the days of our lives. Okay, Riding for Disabled Masterton has been transforming lives in Masterton for 50 years. We recently held our 50-year celebration, which was attended by many past riders and volunteers. Our branch of RDA has grazing and facilities on Te Whiti Road that was donated by the Bruce family, a local farming family who started the RDA 50 years ago after running a successful riding school on the site. As part of their legacy, we still have two of their offspring volunteering. Ian and Marilyn Bruce are active members on riding days and also with fundraising and ensuring we have enough volunteers to assist on riding days. It is now well documented how important and effective horses are in a wide range of therapies. They are intuitive and instinctive. Our ponies seem to sense the needs of the individual children and respond accordingly. Being prey animals, they must have finely tuned instincts in order to survive in the wild, and this enables them to tune in, more so than many other types of therapy animals. Videos from 50 years ago would suggest that most of the riders then had physical disabilities. The first riders actually were bussed in from the Home of Compassion. In more recent times, the range of eligible disabilities has expanded greatly. We now cater for a wide range of both physical disabilities, neurodivergent issues and social issues. It may seem to an outsider that we just give children pony rides in a paddock, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Every new rider is assessed by our fully trained coaches with input from both parents and caregivers. Many children are transported from school with their caregivers, and a tailored program is created that will target their specific needs with realistic goals to achieve. Sometimes this involves movement-based therapies, targeting coordination, balance and strength. The movement of a horse has been shown to replicate the movement required for balance and mobility and can result in amazing progress for the physically disabled children. For the neurodivergent children, there is a complex range of therapies relating to speech therapies, socialising, impulse control, and generally learning to manage emotions. There is an immediate calming effect seen when a child with ADHD or autism sits on a horse. Children who are non-verbal often progress to interacting with the volunteers in a riding situation. While the results on the day are really positive, it is what these children take back to their daily lives that is truly life-changing. We have constant feedback that RDA is the children's favourite day of the week, and that their behaviour and confidence improves long after the session has ended. The families and teachers and caregivers have expressed how much these riding sessions have improved the lives for them all. Previously unmanageable, anxious and non-verbal children are now living lives that are full and are that just much better because of RDA. We have a waiting list. Each rider is allocated 4 terms of riding, after which they have a graduation ceremony attended by family and caregivers. It is not unusual for families to request to go back on the waiting list, and we enjoy seeing familiar faces come back and see their progress. We involve the community in events at RDA also. We have a Christmas party that all attend, with Ian Bruce, whom I mentioned earlier, donning the Santa suit. We have morning teas for volunteers and family, and I've also been invited to some local organisations to talk with them about the work we do. And we have a great team of volunteers who also come from the Masterton community. Without our volunteers, we couldn't offer our programs. They willingly give up their time and form strong bonds with both the children and sometimes the horses. Volunteering at RDA can be life-changing too. The opportunity to make a real contribution to these children, their families and communities is a privilege. To watch the progress of these children over time at RDA is very special, and we are often in awe of the courage and patience shown by the riders and their families. The horses we use are one of a kind. They must be calm, patient, tolerant, obedient, and have an affinity with the children. Often this is best provided by an older horse, the flip side of which is that the maintenance costs of older horses are higher. Aches and pains and minor ailments result in vet bills. They all have a farrier treatment every 6 weeks and a full dental treatment at least annually. They also eat a lot of hay, which is a major expense, so our overheads are very high and we are always operating at a deficit. We charge the riders a nominal fee for attending, but because the local community often struggles to pay, even at this low level, we are limited as to how much we can increase this. We seek sponsorship for each of our ponies, and the local community businesses are generous, but this is a fraction of our real costs. We organise a local gymkhana each year as a major fundraiser. This is very popular as we build a day's program targeting lower level riders who would not ordinarily attend a more high level competition. We have events like Best Decorated Pony, Best Dressed Rider, Hungriest Pony, etc. Our application for this generous community grant is specifically to pay for a new tractor. Our trusty old machine has died and we cannot operate without a tractor. The same ponies that eat a lot of hay also generate a lot of poo. We use the tractor several times each week to harrow our grazing paddocks. Harrowing is a process of breaking up the poo and allowing it to regenerate the paddocks. This ensures our grazing is good quality in order for our ponies to thrive. We also use the tractor to transport hay from our main storage shed to the smaller sheds in the paddocks. If we have a fallen tree or green waste, the tractor is the answer. Actually, our main tractor driver is Ian Bruce, who I mentioned earlier, as a descendant of the founding family. Without a tractor, we wouldn't have good quality grazing or healthy, safe ponies, so it really is a crucial part of our operation. Any contribution to the cost of this tractor will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Diane. Thanks.
Any questions?
Hi. Yes, thank you very much. As is the case often, we have more people applying for more funds that we have. Of course, available. $22,000 for a tractor is a large expense.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would help if we couldn't afford the full cost for a tractor?
Well, like I say, any contribution would be, greatly, appreciated. We actually shopped around a lot, and that was the absolutely best deal that we could get that would suit the needs, and particularly in the long term. We don't want to just get something second-hand that will last 5 years. We know we're in it for the long haul. So,
No, the question is more if we can't help you to that extent. With some funds, it would be a help anyway, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, certainly. I mean, we're constantly fundraising and constantly engaging in these sort of processes. So yes, absolutely. Anything would be helpful.
Thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
2 questions.
Yep.
You talked about 4 terms, so it's based around the school terms?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, that's good. And how many individuals would you have at a session?
Sure. So we have Thursday and Friday sessions. Each day has 4 sessions, and each session generally has 4 riders. So we're talking about 4 for 16, 32 a week, and that 32 last for 4 terms.
Yep.
And then once they finish, they graduate, and then we bring on, and sometimes they're not necessarily, sometimes it's staggered, but basically we go to the waiting list and we move them up.
Manama?
Thank you very much. Do you cater for children outside of Masterton or just...
We have mostly Masterton. We have a couple of children who come, I think, maybe from Greytown, but I think primarily, and a lot of them are associated with the schools. The van comes down with, maybe 3 or 4 kids from the schools. So yeah, I'd say 90% Masterton.
And would you look at applying for funds from other sources?
We do, obviously, look for funds from other sources, certainly.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you can appreciate, like I say, we never have enough money, so
Yeah.
yes, we
Just
would.
that you didn't have it in.
Oh, is that right? Sorry.
I couldn't see.
Okay. I haven't applied for any more for the tractor, if that's what you're asking, but yeah. But we will if we have to.
Any other questions? Thank you, Diane, very much for your presentation.
That's all right.
So we'll be back in touch with you and within the next 2 weeks for the result of your application.
Great.
And again, thank you for your time
No.
and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for listening to me. Okay.
And we wish Ben well.
Pardon?
Wish Ben well.
Oh, Ben has a pretty good life. He's the only male in a lot of them, in the big horses, so yeah, Ben has a good life. Hey, thanks a lot. See you later.
Thank you. I'd now like to welcome Dan and Lucy Miller from the Masterton Young Citizens Club, and I think someone else as well.
This is Cam.
Cam. So I'll just go through the process, guys. So it's 10 minutes, so it's 7 minutes to present and then 3 minutes for questions. That's a little bit flexible, just not with the overall time. And it's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council website right now, or YouTube channel, I beg your pardon. And Harriet will ring a bell after about 7 minutes, so you'll get an idea of how much time you've got left. So the floor is all yours, guys.
Thank you. Off we go on.
Hey, I'll start. My name is Daniel Miller. I'm here under 2 heads today. I'm the president of Masterton Young Citizens Club, and I also am the head coach at Masterton Young Citizens Boxing Club. The Young Citizens Club is there to support the entities that run underneath it. It is mainly our boxing club, but we also have a jiu-jitsu club that uses the premises. They get involved in a lot of our stuff that we do as well, and we give them a very low rate to help support them through their journey of supporting their kids and their adults that do their training as well. We also have groups that would like to come into the club come in. This year we've had 2 groups. There was a group, another club from Masterton that couldn't do what they needed to do in their own premises, and they could in ours. So they used our premises for, I think it was 5 weeks, 5 weekends. A Saturday, which is the only day that at the present the club is available. It's been used for 6 days at the present. 5 of those days is by the boxing club and 6 of them by the jiu-jitsu club, obviously at different times. We're trying to build the club more to be used, or the premises more to be used during the day. The only group that's using that at the moment, I've just started and I've started a women's program for a box class. Very small at the moment. There's only 2 or 3. I think the most I've had is 10 in that class. But overall, on our books for this year so far, we've had 140 different people come through the club under the boxing club. On a weekly process, there's normally about 50. So there's 3 classes. We run a 7 to 9, 9 to 14, and then 14 and above. And so you typically on a weekly basis you get about 10 to 15 at that group. The first group, the second group's about 20, and the third group ranges from 20 through to 50, depending on where people want to come in. But yeah, like I said, in general, so far this year, actual people that have come into our club has been about 140 people. Plus the jiu-jitsu, I spoke to Jack this morning, he runs the jiu-jitsu, and he has 25 youth that do it and 25 adults that do it on a weekly basis. I guess what we're applying for is our operating costs. We try to keep our funds to, our fees to our students to the bare minimum. It was $25 for a term. We've actually just put that up to $30. As you can appreciate, $30 is still not a lot of money. And to be honest, out of all those students, there's probably about 20% that don't actually pay. We don't question it, or I'll rephrase it. I'll put a post up a couple of times, reminder of payment, and if they don't pay it after that second time, there's no questions asked because they obviously can't afford to pay it, or there's a reason. And I've got that impact off my old boxing coach. I was a boxer myself. I've been involved in that club since I was 7 years old, under Neil Cadwallader. Gary here would have taken a few photos of me back in the day. But I haven't boxed for some time now, but I'm trying to get back to the youth. I guess that's, I'll go back to the funding. Without your guys' funding, we would struggle to do what we do. We're all volunteers there. Me and my brother are the main coaches, but we've also got two new coaches. Well, I'll rephrase it, they're not new coaches. They're parent helps that have been there for some time, but we've finally got them their boxing licence. So they're supporting us and helping me and my brother with the kids. There's also so many parents that put their hand up and hold a bag or take a drill, what we're doing while we're there. I'm going to pass you on to Cam because I'm rambling on a little bit.
So we are the Masterton Young Citizens, so our aim is to empower the youth. So one of the reasons we don't charge a lot for our youth is because we want to upskill them and build them up in their mana. The same with the Jiu-Jitsu Club. They often, I think it's every Friday they have an open class for youth, so anyone can go along to that and it's free for any youth. They obviously charge for their kids to come in at a very low rate, but that's a day where anyone can come in, boxers can come in, adults can come in. But the main aim of that is so that we can get the youth involved in this sport. And obviously having someone like Daniel, who is very skilled in boxing, and his brother Corey, pass that knowledge on as a volunteer and have that passion for something like this to do it, really empowers those kids and their families as well. Like Daniel said, the families are heavily involved in everything. We have a mother that comes in and cleans our facilities, which is great. We would love to, have some money to pay for that service because they obviously can't keep up. And without the operational costs, we would struggle a lot. We have just started some sponsorship for our club, the sponsorship board, which has put a little bit of money back into the bank account. So obviously if we can't get the full amount from this grant, we wouldn't like to, but we could dip into some other funds or make some applications to help us with that. But the main reason that we are here is for the youth. And we have Cam as one of our young boxers. Cam's been with us how long, Cam?
4 years?
About 4 years. And Cam's family's involved in the club. And I think I'm a school teacher, and one of the things I love seeing is Cam in his t-shirt at school. And he just holds himself so high when someone says, oh, what's that t-shirt? Or after he's come back from a boxing fight, even if it didn't go well, he's had the skills of great coaches and a family and a supportive team behind him to stand tall and proud and talk about that. And I think that's really important for youth nowadays with resilience and everything that's going on. We're really grateful. I think if it comes to question time, you could ask Cam some questions about boxing unless there's something you want to say, Cam.
No, not really.
Cam's a bit worried about that. But The club's been running for, is it 67 years?
Yeah, 1957. So
And that's something that-
68 years. We'd like to definitely do something on the 75th year, so that's still 7 years away. So we'd like to do something that impacts the young citizens and the community. So
we hold that quite tall because, that's quite important that we are, this has been going on for a long time, and the number of elderly people that come back in, and I used to roller skate here when it was a roller skating club, or we used to have dances here, or and the other thing that we have put out is that you are all welcome, and we would love to see you down to see what we do. Bring some shorts and t-shirt and get on a bag and have a go, or come and speak to our youth, or come and meet our families and see what it's like. We would love to see you down there, because I think that's how you'll really get to know and get the feel of our club. Because when you walk in, there's just a great feeling about who we are and what we do. And unless you see that, it's really difficult to put it down on paper, just what we do for some of these kids. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions? Bex?
Hi. You've invested some money back into your property as well, haven't you, over the last few years? Can you
Yes.
just tell us a little bit about that? Because I know that you've really enhanced the facilities.
yeah, sure. There's still plenty of work to be done, but we've done brand new bathrooms at the front. We did actually end up with a great grant from the Trust House for that, but that was probably about 1/3 of the actual amount it ended up costing us. We budgeted roughly about 20k. I think it was about $45,000 in the end. So it definitely dwindled a lot of our year fund. My old boxing coach would say, "You got rid of all my funds that I collected," but we needed to do that. So we did the bathrooms. We got rubber floors down. We put new mats on the ring. We're about to put new ropes. We've repaired the roof, but it will need more. We're looking at doing that over 4 stages, and that's why we are still applying for grants for you guys, even though that we have got this year, we've finally got some corporate involved, and we got an okay amount of funds from them, and I'm hoping to build on that again. So next year we can do one section of that roof, because it's $100,000 to do the whole roof. If we can do it over 4 lots, we can do it, over the next 10 years, do it over the 4 lots, and it'll be done.
Painted. And,
Yeah. So,
Looks
painted
good,
inside, painted
And
outside. The back has new mats for us to use, also the Jiu-Jitsu club. We've got new bags. We've also got some equipment, some good equipment in there as well. And one thing I would like to work on outside of the roof is actually a new kitchen. So there'll be a project at some stage.
Thank you, Daniel. We'll just do, Gary, did you have a question as well?
Yeah, just, Daniel, it would be fair to say that one of the points of difference for you guys is that you are all volunteers.
Yeah.
There's no, none of you get paid.
Which I'd love to get paid.
As the wife, I would love for Daniel to get
I definitely put hours in. I would say I probably average 15 hours, if not more, a week, on top of my job as well. I do a 40-hour job at Wild Oats and Carterton. So an extra 15 hours plus, to be honest, when it comes to going away on tournaments, that's for a weekend. We've got New Zealand champs in 3 weeks' time, and that's for 5 days. That's out of my pocket in the sense of my time off work. We're very lucky. We normally get a grant to help us support that, though. But in the sense of supporting me financially, no, that doesn't happen. And none of our other clubs, like my brother, none of the others also receive anything other than love from these guys, I guess.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for your passion as well. So what will happen now?
Cam, you got out of it, mate.
You've really gone way over, you guys.
Yeah, sorry.
But we'll be in touch within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll give you an outcome of your application. So thank all 3 of you, including you, Cam, who's the same thing, for coming along to present. Really appreciate it.
And thank you to a lot of you guys for what you do in the community. You're great people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, from one young citizen to another, Bob, you're up. Welcome aboard, Bob.
Thank you.
You missed my one-liner.
You did. You'll do it again.
So just welcome from one young citizen to another.
Thank you.
Wasted, always wasted.
We were all bastard. Thank you.
So, Bob, you know the drill. So it's 10 minutes, and it's 7 minutes to present, and then you'll hear a bell from Harriet after 7 minutes, and there'll be questions after that. And it's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel. And I think that's everything. So the floor is yours, Bob.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks for the time. In many respects, I'm stepping in for Jen Butler, who we brought on recently to pick up the garden tour. She's away at the moment, but I just thought I'd give just a wee bit, Tim, initially about where we are at Buka at the moment, after recognising that 3 months ago, almost exactly 3 months ago, a new board was moved into place, and since that time we've been working overtime to, I suppose, move it into a position of, sustainability to a degree, and looking at the future. And I'll just touch on a bit of that as we go through. So it'd be fair to say there remains a lot we've made good progress in those 3 months. It'd be fair to say there's a fair bit still to do. And that really is the recognition that we need to revitalise the visitor attraction for the people that go there, basically from this region and from the wider country. And so we've got a lot of work to do there. We're starting to recognise some of the projects we need to move on, but it'd be fair to say some of it's quite tired. Some of it needs some maintenance and repair. And I think it'd be fair to say that an observation that during the period of really tough trading, big financial issues that we're dealing with, that in many ways the place has been neglected to a degree. So we've got some work to do. We're moving on that, and be fair to say it's going well. One of the pleasing aspects is recognising there's 942 hectares there. The restoration of that area, plus the buffer zone, which is an area around which is owned by farmers. There's been some really good work done there, and that's continuing. And I don't know whether you saw the Times Age front page this morning. You should grab a copy of it. It's a magnificent story. Piers Fuller went in and they found a couple of the white kiwi, and he was able to touch them and just get a real good feel for what's happening in that forest. So, and I think, as I said, that's a major plus that hasn't been neglected in the process, and so that 942 hectares is producing some great results at the moment, and we'll continue to do that. And we're looking at, we had a meeting up there mostly yesterday, looking at the funding required and what we need to do during this next 12 months to maintain that situation. It'd be fair to say that the more you look at it, the reliance on fundraising and grants will continue to be a significant challenge and issue for Pukaha. So though we're working hard to increase the trading and I suppose the visitor attraction and encouraging people to go there and obviously pay, and we're doing a lot of work to enhance that. There's no question over the next few years grants and fundraisers will still be an important component of your income. And so the garden tour fits with one of those as one of the most significant fundraisers for the year. But I don't know whether you realise we ran a fundraiser just recently with a book launch of Ian Foster. We've got one or two more under consideration. So we're going to move through the next period with another one or two significant fundraisers to get us in the right position. And on a regular basis, we've done a lot of work over the last few months looking at grant opportunities. We've got a major funder who's helping us with the restoration project, which is brilliant. I'm talking about big money. and we're in the process of renewing that, and that's going on at the moment. The garden tour, if you look at the paper we produced, is a high-quality event. It attracts visitors from the bottom half of North Island, especially into the Manawatu, Hawke's Bay, Wellington area, and based on the money that we're spending around publicity and obviously in areas like Home and Garden, some of those quality gardening magazines, there's a lot of work going on at the moment. So the advice I'm getting at the moment is that we're on track for a very successful event in November. One of the highlights also is that everyone spends a day at Pukaha too, so you go and see all the gardens, and we host them out there too for a pretty special day too. So Lower North Island, so it's not only for Pukaha, but it's for this region. A lot of people stay the weekend, so the hotels and the restaurants, all they're getting very good. So you'll note the extent of the advertising and the target audience. And as you can see, we're aiming for a profit of about 90 to 100k. I think that's been, in fairness, probably ambitious, but that's where we're heading to. And I think it's fair to say that we are, as you'll know, operating in a fairly tough environment. But the feedback we're getting at the moment is very good support. So Tim, that's probably a bit of background. I've been quite light on the event itself, but happy to answer questions around that.
Great, thank you, Bob. Now, does anyone have any questions on that?
Yeah, hi, thanks, Bob. Just how you were updating us on Pukaha. Is there a new general manager out there yet, or what's the?
So what we did is we appointed one of the senior managers as a general manager through till Christmas, and one of our board members, Brian Easton, we've employed him for. In fairness, he's probably working full time, but we've employed him for 2 days through to Christmas as the sort of business manager for the whole operation. And he's doing an outstanding job. So Brian's got a background in corporate and finance. He's come in and brought some really good discipline. One of our board members, we've got another board member who's an accountant in Paetua, Sean Stafford, who was an ex-ANZ banker here. So we've got a really strong financial overview. We've brought in Jenna Snellgrove and Nick Rogers to really help us on that whole area around marketing, visitor attraction, and their input has been amazing, really. So they're bringing a lot of strength to the thing. Shane and myself, I suppose Shane's got a really strong corporate background, Shane McManaway, and my own background in, I suppose, fundraising and other stuff. We've put together a very strong board, so Brian Easton is he's still on the board, but he's taken up that position, Bex, which is, yeah. So we're working towards a position later in the year where we'll finalise those appointments, but I'm talking about permanent appointments.
Yeah.
Bob. Gary?
Yeah, Bob, the garden tour has got a strong Masterton component.
Yes. Yeah, it names, there's a list of gardens there, Gary, that refer to, I think there's 5 there, but there's quite a few on the outskirts too. So I'm just trying to think of the number. What's the number?
8 and 2 to be confirmed.
Yeah. So no, you'll note that on the, I think it's the second page of the submission, there's a list of gardens.
And Craig?
Well, thanks for the report. With the submission, when there has been obviously issues previously.
What's that?
There have been issues previously with Pukaha,
Yeah.
but the garden tour never went into recess, did it?
No, I don't, sorry.
The garden tour never went into recess. It's been continuing on through the period of time. So we're not trying to start something new again, are we? No.
Not at all. No. So the garden tour was always planned to run the garden tour. There was two staff involved on site that have been organising it. But what we did, recognising the significance of it, we brought Jen Butler from the outside. She's been providing some secretarial support, so we're actually employing her to add some real. She's been involved in, I think, at least 2 or 3 previous garden tours. She's got an enormous background, so we pull her back on. Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. And thank you for your application and thank you for your time. And we'll get back to you within the next couple of weeks.
Thanks, Tim. I'm going to stay around.
See you later on this afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I'd now like to welcome up. I've lost my way. Here we are. So from the Wairarapa Pre-Shears Wool Handling Championships, we've got Jennifer, Waina, Raywin, Josephine, and Manu, I think. So if you can come up to the table, it's all yours. Thank you, Bob.
Good.
So for your presentation you have 10 minutes, so it's 7 minutes to share and then 3 minutes for questions after that, and you'll hear a bell going after 7 minutes and that will just let you know your time's coming to a close, and also that the presentation's been filmed for the live stream from the Masterton District Council YouTube channel. So the floor is all yours to present.
Okay, thank you. Kia ora. My name's Jennifer Kuru. I submitted the form probably, I don't know, a month ago, 5 weeks maybe. And I'm speaking, I submitted the form to ask for funding for our pre-shares wool handling championship coming up in the 1st of March of next year. It's the World Champs coming. And we would like the funding to help us pay for our costs, which came to about $10,000. I just rounded it up. It was about 9,834, something like that. So that was our main reason. The main costs were the haulage of the livestock. Mangums was the main one. They were the most. We had Sign Factory, Deco Art, they provide the ribbons. We've had the affiliation fee with Shearing Sport New Zealand and a machine that we use every year that we use from the North Island Wool Handling Circuit.
Which is like the counters for the judges, timekeeping, laptop.
No, that's for the...
Oh, yeah, so, carry on.
You did the same, Chris.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Yep. Madam, thank you.
Kia ora. Is this the first time you've applied or for funding?
Yes.
For the council?
As far as I know, via Marama. This is my first time of submitting a funding for the club, and I'm not too sure about.
Do you normally get funded through the bigger Golden Shares Committee?
No,
we're separate.
we've pretty much been our own identity. So I think last year was our 25th anniversary, but like with the COVID coming along, we missed 2 years with the shutdown, so yeah, no.
Craig?
My question just got answered with that answer there. So.
Thank you, Bex.
Yeah, hi. It says the venue is the Riverside Massey University Farm. Is that the one on the State Highway just outside Opaki? Okay, I just want to check that, it's locally.
Yes,
based.
it's local.
Thank you.
It's been running there for the last 25 years. Yeah.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Awesome, thanks.
Gary?
Thanks for your presentation. How many competitors would you expect to get at something like this?
Well, being the Worlds, we're expecting a lot more from other countries coming in, and it's only the wool handlers.
What do we normally have?
We normally have, in general, we have probably about 120. We have, competitors.
I was just going to follow that with being a world championship, you'd be expecting to expand that number.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like pretty much everyone is doing online registration so that we can finalise the numbers for the sheet.
Bex?
Oh, thank you. And then on the application, just so I get it right, excuse me, I think the event is costing you around about 10,000. Is that correct, the whole event?
That's what we pay out for the major, what do you call it? The
To run
people,
it.
yeah.
To run it.
To run it, like.
Oh, because my questions are, you know how people pay a fee to enter? And then you've got sponsorship as well. So does that money go, where does that money go? Towards the event costs, or is it?
That's prize money, mainly to prize money.
It all goes to prize money or the sponsorship.
Okay, I understand now.
But can I just say that those quotes that were put in, they were taken from the last year's. That was right? Yeah, last year's. Well, this year's, 2020.
Okay, so there's the actual event cost, and then there's winning prize money, and the sponsorships contribute towards that.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? All right, thank you all so much for coming along to present, and thank you for your time. And what will happen next is the application will be reviewed, and we'll be back to you within the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kia ora.
And now we'll welcome Alison and is it Deanne from Age Concern Wairarapa Incorporated. So I'll just go through the process, Alison and Deanne. So what will happen is 10 minutes to present altogether, and that's 7 minutes for your presentation, and then 3 minutes for questions after that as well. And the presentation, the whole meeting's been live streamed on the Masterton Fishing Council YouTube channel. And after 7 minutes, you'll hear a bell from Harriet just to your left, and that will let you know your time's coming to a close. Okay, it's all yours. Go for it.
Thank you. Kia ora koutou. Ko Alison Tukawinua.
Ko Deanna Ho.
And we represent, as you've heard, Age Concern. We're having our annual expo in October on the 8th. And that's when the Masterton War Memorial Stadium will be humming with activities, exhibitions, entertainment and demonstrations. All of it will have just one purpose, to celebrate active ageing, or ageing with attitude. And if you've got attitude and you're ageing, it's going to be a ball. And we're going to showcase the services and information in the Wairarapa and beyond that help to achieve that. We'd love to see you there too. We're expecting over 50 stall holders. Usually we get closer to 60, displaying not only a wide range of health services for older people, but many services available to our whole community. The manager of Age Concern, Esme Led, says, if you're keen to find what services are available in the Wairarapa, we would love you to pop in to experience our annual community expo. And there's also the Ace Cafe, which is being led by one of our board members with some lovely finger food. So it's all about fun and friendship, about the fantastic people who live here, learning what's on offer in our community, easy access, and it's easy to get around. There'll be helpful and topical information, free gifts, and some really good prizes in the raffle, and I should have brought the raffle tickets. They're just some of the things that people have told us about previous year's expo. So if you happened to come along last year, and I know that Bob did, please come again. If you haven't been to one of our expos yet, please come. Make it your first. And I'm going to leave with you some invitations, personal invitations. Take 2 each, one for yourself and one to give away.
Right. Does anyone have any questions? Can you give me an example of, say, 2 people who will be presenting there?
Yes, I can tell you that we have a new lady coming this year trying to recruit new people to her group. And if you'll forgive me, you might have to have a beeper. It's Good Bitches Baking. Good Bitches Baking have been really very kind to Age Concern, and they provide morning tea for our seniors when they have their coffee groups once a month. but they also do a lot of baking for people in need throughout the community. Obviously on the day she's not coming and bringing her ladies to bake for all of us, but she's coming to recruit those of our senior people who love baking, who would be a great person to bake something for someone else who's in need. So that's a new person. We have Transit coming to push their tours that they do. They do some great tours around the country. But also we have Richmond Funeral Home, who everybody loves to come to the Richmond Funeral Home display. Really, if you're going to, I always say, if you're going to have something like that once in your life, you've got to do it properly, and you're not there to do it yourself, obviously. So you've got to plan in advance and make it happen. So it's a really great event. And they bring a great display. They get a lot of people. And they provide cookies as well. Shortbread and chocolate chippies. I was chatting to Jenny last night. So.
Sounds really good. Any more questions, anyone? Thank you both for your application. Thanks for your time as well. So what will happen now is we'll be in touch with you within the next 2 weeks and with the result of your application.
That would be brilliant. Thank you very much. Don't forget your invitations.
And I'd now like to welcome Fraser Mailman, presenting for the Netball Wairarapa Incorporated. So I'll just go through the process, Fraser. You're probably aware of it, but I'll go through it anyway.
I've heard it 3 times already, Tim.
Do you want to hear it one more time? 7 minutes, Fraser, 3 minutes for questions, and it's being filmed, and you'll hear the bell after 7 minutes. That's the short version.
Thanks very much, Tim, and councillors, for allowing the time for me to speak on behalf of the application of Netball Wairarapa. As you're probably aware, in 2018, the Bring It to Colombo Trust handed the netball complex over to Netball Wairarapa, and it was welcomed in terms of the facility. Unfortunately, unforeseen issues with the building have put ongoing financial pressures on the netball board. 4 years in from the construction, every beam was showing signs of rust, requiring approximately $200,000 worth of remedial work. The board were left with a bill for $20,000 approximately for legal fees and also for consultants. We were fortunate that the contractor came to the party and he met the costs of the repairs, but it still put $20,000 of costs onto the netball. In 2023, pigeons were nesting under the eaves of the building, resulting in the courts needing constant cleaning. With funding from MDC Depreciation Fund, the board was able to purchase a laser beam, which helped minimise the number of pigeons that were nesting. Nonetheless, the board also had to spend an extra $3,000 culling the birds with a sharpshooter. We're lucky at the present time that there are no pigeons around, but it's not nesting season. That starts, I think, later on this month or next month. The new building has also made the delivery of messages to the outside courts inaudible, and a new sound system is required. The cost of that is approximately $26,000. We've applied to lotteries funding, but they have indicated supporting sports clubs is a very low priority for them. But this has to be installed by the beginning of next netball season. When the building was constructed, they placed interior lights under the roof, and over the last 2 years they have been failing. They need to be replaced by exterior lights at a cost of $19,177 plus $2,000 for the sizzle lift. This will give greater lux and make for a more enjoyable experience for all that use the facility. Once again though, it is the cost onto Netball Wairarapa. The money that we need to spend on all of the above minimises the opportunities to grow the sport and it's an area, growing the sport is an area that the board wants to focus on. But since I've been involved for the last 3 years, that has been made very difficult. We have had a restructure of staffing, and we have cut that back to, very thin line. Also, the lighting on the outside courts is something that has to be done in the future. Unfortunately, the cost being quoted is around $200,000 to put the appropriate lighting in. But that's way out of our reach, and it's an issue for another time. But recently, as I said in the one-pager, we have entered into a member of understanding with the Wairarapa District Health Board to allow the facility to be activated as a community-based assessment centre during a pandemic, just as it was done when COVID was hit. So having good lighting in that sort of sense, it really is essential. So I'd be very grateful if the council could look at some form of grant to assist us in putting in the new lights. Happy for questions.
Thank you, Fraser. Do you have any questions? Gary?
Hi, Fraser. Fraser, would that be lighting right through the building? Or is there a particular part of the building?
It's above the three netball courts, the so-called indoor netball courts.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so the roof structure comes down like that, and then there's the lighting that's just underneath.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Okay.
And you guys, do you hire out that building on a regular basis for meetings or whatever?
We endeavour to hire it out, but that's difficult. And we have had, yes, but our use this year is right down.
Craig?
Fraser, thanks for the report. Just remind me, when was the building built and when was all the lights installed?
It was constructed around 2017, 2018. I think Beck's going to answer that question better than me. Yeah.
Kia ora, Fraser. Thank you for your presentation. It sounds to me, and I don't know anything about anything, but like...
Neither do I, Marama says.
Good. No, not alone. A bad workmanship, is that right? That is causing all the problems that you seem to have taken over.
Well, we've only found that out since the building since we've been there, and the rust was of major concern to us, but also the lighting, and I don't know the reasons why they put that in, but the advice we have is some appropriate lighting to be put in there. So.
Any more questions, anyone? Thank you, Fraser. So we'll be in touch with you
in 2 weeks' time. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fraser.
Mr. Chair, I'll step up for this one.
Yep. This is my, do you have a nice time in Australia, Fraser? Fraser, do you have a nice time in Australia in the weekend?
Yeah, it did. That's what we do, running the marathon.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a bit Marion's time.
Just a reminder, we are still broadcasting.
Right, I'd like to welcome back Bob and Celia as well. Presenting for Elevate Wairarapa Community Trust. Welcome, Cez. Welcome, Bob. I'll go through the process just with his benefit. So it's 10 minutes, 7 minutes to present, and then 3 minutes for questions at the end. And it's being live streamed, as you now know, and also there'll be a bell after 7 minutes, just so that you know your time is coming to a close. So the floor is all yours. Go for it.
Thanks everyone, and kia ora, and thank you for having us today, and also thank you for the work that you guys do, because sometimes it's thankless, I realise. So thank you. I believe that we've got our presentation. Is it ready to go?
I'll push play, and I'm not sure whether it's got sound.
Let's see if we can watch that first and then we can chat, if that's all right. Short and sweet. So yes, thank you for hosting us today. Summerhammer's back next February, 28 Feb 2026. We're super excited. It'll be our fourth one back since the renaissance of the old days. We are in the process of obviously securing funding and conscious of the environment that we're living in and the challenges that everybody's facing. Community groups, councils, government, non-government, businesses, private individuals who would normally sponsor us. This year, so our concert this year, we had a bit of a change of tack in terms of our main act. When we were doing the planning probably this time last year or earlier, we realised and recognised what the fiscal climate was like, and rethought our main act, which was going to cost probably 6 times as much as what our eventual main act was. So we decided to go down a little bit, and we secured Cassie Henderson, who was fresh off the New Zealand Music Awards, winning multiple awards last year. And we took a bit of a punt on her, didn't we? But it paid off massively. She cost, probably less than 1/6 of the cost of the band that we were going to have and the band that we had the year before, who were phenomenal, not taking anything away, but we did recognise that we needed to go down a little bit in terms of that. And boy, oh boy, did it pay off. It was still an incredible day, and our young people still had that chance to have world-class entertainment in our backyard, and also get up on the stage, our local bands. So that's what we're about. We did recognise that we needed to do that. And doing that, we are determined to keep the ticket price as low as we can, and that's what brings our families and our whānau and who otherwise just couldn't go and see a concert like this. Bob has notes, that's good. My notes are on my hand. Not forgetting the youth workshop the next day, free to everybody, chance for the young people to come in and meet with the bands in person, talk about all sorts of things. I didn't go to the one this year because I was in South Island, but last year when Drax came, I went to the youth workshop on the Sunday, and I wasn't quite sure what they were going to talk about. I thought they'd talk about music and all sorts of things, but it ended up just being this incredible chat about mental health and struggles and how to deal with them, how to agree with your band members when you don't all agree, how to live in that environment, and it just related to everything that the young people in the room were probably there thinking about. The band could relate to the struggles they were having. So for me, that was kind of one of the huge bonuses of not just the concert, but the reach of it, the next day thing, the young people being up on the stage in front of their friends and their peers and their family. And you might have seen, and hopefully you saw our written content as well, with all the feedback we got from social media, and we all know what social media is like these days, but there was overwhelmingly a landslide of positivity, wasn't there, Bob? And it was just such a lovely day. Also, I think this year, Summerhammer was the day of the church fires, so that had happened overnight, and sort of the town had woken up to that terrible thing, and everyone was a bit, I think the town was a bit down. So to be able to have that community come together, pay $2, come in and have a whole day, we had food, music, little kids dancing, grandparents there, people in wheelchairs, the whole lot. Hey Bob, what have I missed?
Well done, Cec. Just 3 or 4 quick points, Tim, to follow, just to wrap up. There's no question that this year's event was an outstanding success. Beautiful day, great family event. We really noted the large number of teenagers, and I went on Google before I came here, what's teenagers? 13 to 19. I think they were dominant. There wasn't one incident the whole day. So that we had security and we had police there, not one incident in the whole event. I think the accessibility to the whole population is so important and such a feature of this. The site's outstanding. I know there's a bit of, we've got cricket played there and soccer and that, but that site is perfect. We wouldn't want to go anywhere else, honestly. It is unbelievable. The infrastructure that we can, also the site's critical for infrastructure. And one thing we seem to forget is that Toby Mills, we're so lucky to have Toby Mills here. We bring him the big stage, but he's got all the sound, he does all the sound, he's absolutely outstanding. We're so lucky in this region to have a guy of his calibre and quality, and he can put on the greatest show with whatever. Just a bit of an add-on. I've had a 40-year friendship with Frankie Stevens, and he's been in touch. He'd like to come the next day. So we can have a bit of a look at that. No promises, but recognising the infrastructure's there. You've got the stage, the sound, you've got the toilets, and you've got all the gear. If it's not too much, we'll look at that as a bit of an add-on, so we'll see. So I don't know whether you've seen what he's been doing in the last 12 months, but he's out there with the Highwayman and 1 or 2 other bands, and yeah. Thanks.
Wonderful.
Craig.
Hey, thanks for that. Thanks, Hunter. So what do you think were the approximate numbers that the crowd numbers you had last year?
Yeah, so 2025 was between 3,500 and 3,800, I believe. Sorry, I know Stelz is sitting out, but that's my understanding. I was actually in the South Island, sorry, so I wasn't here that day. That was about the numbers, I think. And the year before, I think we cracked over 4,000. I think that was the Drax thing. I think people from Wellington came, and Palmy probably, and further away because it was Drax Project, who are probably international, but we paid the international price to have them there as well. We have talked about, there was a little bit of discussion about popping it to a every 2-year thing, just, with the costs and trying to be reasonable about things. Do you think this man would have it? Of course he wouldn't. We went round and had a big discussion about it around the circles, our small group, and ended up saying we think now more than ever we need to have this for $2 or whatever it's going to be this year. They can come in and have a whole day. There's a possibility the price may go up to $4 or $5.
You've got $5 in your proposal.
Oh, it is, yeah, so that's still, still under discussion.
Still under discussion,
Bob's reluctant. We think $5 is still a small price to pay for pretty much a whole afternoon and into the evening entertainment.
Have you confirmed next year's? Is that?
No, we haven't announced our acts yet. We're just in talks now. We are very lucky to have Toby. He advises us really well. What we've done now, we've gone to a little routine in the last few years, is we wait for the New Zealand Music Awards, which I think are in late March, and then whoever gets all the nominees, this new act coming in and wins all these. That's what we sort of did with Cassie, and Toby says, hey, look at this one. They're coming in, they've just won all these awards at New Zealand Music Awards. They're on the up and they're still affordable. So that's what we did that with Cassie, and we've done that again this year with our act that we're just in the final process of signing up.
Thank you very much. Did I hear you say that you have local bands?
Yes, yep. So the schools all get to have bands play. So it starts like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and we roll through the local acts. Last year we had Makota, Waikol, Rathkew and St Matt's, plus some local out-of-school bands as well. So we sort of build up to our main act, which comes on.
That's Marima, that's such a critical component. So we have 6 pre-acts that start at secondary school, intermediate. I think we've had intermediate.
Yeah.
And of course it's big for them. And of course they bring their family and their friends
And it's a real stage, it's a real proper stage.
It's
and
massive,
everything.
really.
And we have the winner of Wairarapa has got talent from the year before, so they get an automatic entry onto the stage. And it's because it's a proper stage and it's very exciting for these young ones to be able to do it here.
We had Lady Hawk back here, I don't know, 6 years ago, I suppose 7 years ago. And this was her home. And Summer Hummer inspired her attending as a kid those Summer Hummer concerts at the Sports Bowl. She talked during that visit about the motivation and what it did to her. And that's across the board. We talked to a number of young people that have gone on and made a career in music, all talk about Summer Hummer and what it did to them as, motivating.
I think as well after 3 years, this will be 4th year back, we've got a following now where people they know what the day's about, they're going to come, doesn't matter what the act is really, they're going to come because they know it's a great day, so that's really exciting as well. Yeah.
Right, Gary.
It'd be fair to say too, wouldn't it, you guys, that this is really good for the Masterton economy because it starts, I think, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's very noticeable in the morning, the place is packed around town.
Totally.
So this is actually an economic benefit for the Masterton as well.
Totally, yep. No question.
Yeah, I think it's not just about the music and the concert, it reaches a bit further than that, doesn't it? Yeah. And the food stalls and everything, and we had some fundraising come in, school fundraisers come in. It's not just a concert, it's really a festival and so needed, and that was evidenced this year by what happened that morning, and just the community coming together and being able to do that for that price was outstanding. Makes all the work worth it.
Any more questions, anyone? Thank you both.
Thank you.
So we'll be back in touch with you in the next 2 weeks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harriet.
Welcome back to the table, Stella.
Thank you.
Good to see you, mate.
Just waiting on that. Just outside.
Cheers.
So they're just on the three. So that's that one. It's Eric, did you say anything to my Queenie?
She's here.
She's just on the phone. She's just on the phone out there.
I did let her know.
Kia ora, Queenie.
Kia ora.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So I'll go through the process of how it all works. So it's just 10 minutes to present, and that's 7 minutes of your presentation, and then 3 minutes of questions. But there's a little bit of flexibility within the 3 and 10 minutes as well. And just a reminder that the presentation of the meeting's being filmed live on the Masterton District Council live stream. And after 7 minutes, you'll hear a bell from Harriet, just to let you know that 7 minutes has passed. So the floor is all yours to present. Thank you.
Kia ora, thank you. Sorry. First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much to the council for being supportive. You are amazing, and we can't do this without your support. So thank you so much. You've been great. So why have this festival? Well, first of all, it's a great place for whānau, our kamatua, our pepe to come and have a great day. You don't need a lot of money, and you can still have a fantastic day. It brings a lot of people, it brings great organisations to come to the festival to promote what they do, educate, promoting health and well-being. So I'm just really nervous, I don't know why.
You don't need to be nervous.
So are we.
Tell us some of the things that will be happening on the day.
Well, so part of the festival is that we have our community, they can come, households around the community, and they can come and fundraise. So that brings a lot of people together, and it gives them a chance to make some money on the side and also let us know what they do in their kitchen as well. So we're going to have music, we'll be having lots of organisations like Whai Ora, promoting what they do, giving diabetes test, just educating on their health and put them on a direct path really. We'll be having lots of music, so.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Claire has been the main organiser of the festival for a couple of years now, which is why I thought it was important to let her speak. I've lived in the east side now for 21 years, and we've had various festivals over the years, but it's always a really good way. One of our goals as the East Side Community Group is to have a really connected community, and the festival is one way that we can bring everybody in our immediate area together and be connected, whether it's through food, whether it's through cultural entertainment, or some information stalls that Claire's already talked about that can share education and health promotion, all those things that our Decile 10 area in Masterton appreciates. And it's also, it's quite hard sometimes to get to some of our people who we probably want to get to, and a festival or a fun event is a way to get them to come along. And while they're there, then hopefully we can capture them with some early childhood messages and some health messages and some, some other things, and just basically being together as a community.
And less clinical as well, very chilled.
Yeah.
A very chilled environment.
Yeah. And we have community awards, so people can nominate their neighbour for a community award. We have a Good Sorts Award for people who might not live in our community but do good things in our community. And so that's a nice thing too, that we can acknowledge and celebrate people who are doing good things in and around the east side. So there's actually lots. Well, we're involved in lots.
That's right.
We're involved in lots, but the festival is, it's something that the community look forward to. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Gary?
Thanks for your presentation. Having been there a number of times myself, this is not, it's run by the East Side Community Group, but there's a hell of a lot of people from outside the East Side that go.
That's right. That's right.
It's not something that's just East Side.
No.
Yeah. And people walk away thinking, oh wow, the East Side actually isn't that bad. It's a great place to be. And they are just shocked sometimes. Yeah.
I guess the nice thing too about people who do live in our community is that they can walk there. It's pretty much central to our community. They can walk there, like Claire's already alluded to. You don't need to have a lot of money to come to the festival and still have a good day. And yeah, and it's essential and yeah, like I say, we're about a connected community, because when your community is connected, you can do so much. You can do so much. So yeah.
And we just want to keep that connection open.
So it's a massive part of getting rid of the negative perceptions some people have towards the east side of the country.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Any more questions, Eva?
Thank you both, and thank you for your presentation. And so what will happen now is we'll be in touch with you in the next couple of weeks with the result of your application. And again, thank you for your time, and thank you for what you do. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Well done. Do you want me to go out and come back in again?
No, you can stay right.
I thought I'd go and do my wonderful.
Change your outfit.
Thanks, Claire.
Thank you.
Bye, Claire. Thank you.
Take it easy, Claire.
And Mark, you're up now for He Kahui Wairarapa Incorporated.
Yeah.
Same format?
Yep.
The floor is yours again.
Cool. So He Kahui Wairarapa is a organisation that's actually doing lots of things now, way more than we used to. However, what I've come to talk to about today is a small part of a bigger operation, and that's our mobile marae. So it wasn't my brainchild. It came about through Mike Kawana and my mother, Mihi Nāmana, who would often go along and support whānau at tangi, at funerals, in their home-based ones. And in particular, I remember one tangi that I was actually sitting across from them, and we were in a little marquee, you know those ones that you buy from the warehouse that are just a breeze would blow them over, and whānau didn't even have enough crockery and things to be catering for people who are coming. And I know that Mum and Mike had spoken about this concept previously. And so I'm sitting across from him. I said, well, let's just do it. Let's, find some money. And so we did through DIA. So DIA funded all of the... So we have 2 trailers, which I'm about to get branded, Mobile 1 and Mobile 2. So within these 2 trailers are everything that a whānau would need to have at home if for whatever reason, don't want to go to the marae, maybe they're not local, so they're not connected to any of our marae, or maybe they're just not marae people, and so they choose to keep their loved one at home. So within the kit is mattresses, tables, chairs, crockery, cutlery, enough to just feed 50 people, so it's not like a huge cookers, pots, all those things. We have added a few things to it as we've gone. Whānau said, oh, have you got one of these? So we've got a few lights for outside. There's a couple of 6x3 gazebos. And so yeah, it's a whole kit. And it's been used quite a bit. We haven't even actually advertised it. It's been through word of mouth. So people will rock up to a tangi set and go, oh, where did all that come from? And that's how the word has basically got around. We did consult with all our local marae before we did it to just get their thoughts and to make sure that we weren't trying to replace the role of marae. It was just like if whānau are choosing to stay at home, then this is an option for them. It's not just for Māori. We've had one request from a Pacifica whānau, and we have had a couple of non-Māori Pākehā whānau that have used not the whole kit, but parts of it. We are very adamant that it is for tangihanga. It's not for our birthday or anything else, any other celebration. It is for a tangihanga, a home-based tangihanga. We do whānau, we don't charge a bond, but we do ask for a koha if they are able. The koha we usually use for any replacements, so we've got a little small budget that the koha comes in. So anything that we might have to replace, things that get broken, sometimes things go a little bit west or a pot comes back without a damn lid or something like that. So we have some money for replacements, but it's basically what we're asking for is for the, it needs for someone to manage it, to make sure, because we don't just drop the trailers off and free it's like there's a list, whānau go through the list and say, yes, we want these things. Those are the things that are dropped off to them, and then those are the things that come back. And again, they're ticked off and it's co-signed by, someone at our end and a whānau member at their end. Sometimes, sometimes we have to do an extra clean of things. There's been some interesting times, but everyone that has used it has been so grateful that it's actually a thing. And we've had people that have come from out of town to Atangi and said, wow, you fellas are cool, that's cool, you've got this here, and have thought they'd go home and see if they can do something. And I'm talking about whānau from the Hawke's Bay, who thought, man, we should go back and see if we can get something like that. So, so what we're asking for is basically for the managing of it. Like I say, it's not just drop the trailer off and it's free for all, because that's how things will go west quite quickly. So there's a system, and so far the system works. It might need tweaking at some stage, but that's how it happens. So, open to any questions.
Thank you, Queenie. Any questions, anyone?
How long has this been going?
I want to say it feels like about maybe year and a half-ish, going on 2 years. So, and like I say, we've never advertised it, but just, this one tells that one, and mostly, sometimes it comes back to one of my children and I get a message from them going, Mum, someone wants the mobile manoa, and I'm like, yep, sweet, get them to contact me. So I am the main contact person for it, and but I don't always, sometimes, like it's paying someone sometimes to go out, drop it all off, because some of it's heavy too, so sometimes you need some boys that can drop things off, pick things up, make sure it's all packed in, back into the trailers. Particularly the mattresses, they're not just the foam sort, they're decent sized mattresses. Any other questions?
Gary?
Queenie, what sort of area do you cover, or do you cover everywhere around the place? Is it mainly Masterton, or?
Mainly Masterton. We have gone rural, which was kind of out towards the coast, but not quite the coast. I'm just trying to think of what area it's called, but rural. We will go further if there's a whānau in, for instance, South Wairarapa who wanted to use it or needed the service. We would absolutely do that. So there's some gas costs and some travel costs on top of that. But it's like within the Wairarapa, I haven't looked at going north or anywhere else, but probably here to South Wairarapa, but mainly everyone who's used it so far has been Masterton based.
See, it would strike me following that up that now that this is live streamed and you've advertised it, you could get quite a demand. You've got the capacity to handle that?
We did have one time when our mattresses only went to one funeral, and then there was another one that happened, they're both tragic too actually, the same week. And so, there's a little bit of that shuffling, and at the end of the day, if it's out, it's out. And it just means that, a whānau will have to sort it out some other way. But we don't have enough gear to service more than one tangi at a time. And so far that's been manageable, but like you say, now that it's out there, it might not be. But, generally, it's the same as our marae, really. We often have several people die at the same time. Sometimes, we have a bit of a crossover. One's coming in and the other one's going out. And we have had that with the mobile marae, but, if we have to say no, we can't because it's already out, then that's what we have to say,
And is it the equipment all generally, you might have said this before, really well looked after, it comes back intact?
Pretty much. Like I say, we've lost a pot lid and some poles. At times, poles out of the top of the gazebo. How the heck that happened, I don't know. But, so I ordered some new ones, and then about a week or 2 weeks later, the whānau said, we found them! And I'm like, well, we'll have them, because who knows, we might need to replace them again. So there's those sort of things. We have had one where we had to, give everything a good clean afterwards. And there was good reasons for that, and that was not really on the whānau, it was just the circumstances. And so there's extra bits, but it is generally well looked after, and then when it comes back to us, we look after it as well. Yeah.
Any more questions, anybody? Well, kia ora mau koini, thank you for your presentation and your time for both presentations. So we'll be back in touch with you within the next 2 weeks with the outcomes of the application.
Ka pai. Thank you very much. Kia ora.
Right, and we're a bit ahead of schedule, so a couple minutes extra if you want, you guys. So we've got Gretchen, Alicia and Annie from Hospice Wairarapa Community Trust Board. So the way that the presentation works is you have 10 minutes to present, so 7 minutes to present and 3 minutes for questions, but that's a little bit flexible as well. And it's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel as I speak, and after 7 minutes Harriet will ring a bell and that will just give you an idea of as to how much time you have left. And from now the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. Kia ora koutou, ko Gretchen Sawbury tāku ingoa. I'm the Chief Executive of Hospice Wairarapa, and I'm here with Annie Hawkes, who's our whānau support team leader, and Alicia Ramika, who is our Finance and HR Manager. So we've come to talk to you today about biographies. So we provide psychosocial palliative care for all people in Wairarapa at no cost. And so as part of that care, we have a volunteer team who go and visit our clients, take their life story, and we turn it into a small biography booklet that is their words. Quite often it has photos with it, and that kind of thing. So over the past kind of year to year and a half, we've had a massive increase in the referrals to our service, which has translated to a huge increase in need for these types of services. And alongside that, we've also been very lucky to increase our volunteers who are available to do the biographies. So something that was quite a small cost on our books has actually started to become a more significant cost, because while we are able to harness a whole lot of volunteers, we also have to print those biographies. And we have an excellent partnership with Printcraft, who help us print those at the lowest cost possible. But at the end of the day, it just does cost money to do it. Biographies, as we put in our application, it's really connecting through storytelling. And the really important part of this is that there's a few things. One is there's an element of narrative therapy for the client. They get to talk through their life as they're approaching their end of life. We see it as a real lasting gift for whānau because we print it, it's beautifully done, and then clients can gift it to their whānau as something that they can keep. We're finding there's also that community element of volunteer enrichment. Those volunteers who do this really get a lot out of it. It's a hugely rewarding experience for them, and it's a lovely way to connect with our community. And we are also seeing it as there's an element of cultural recognition. So for many, and especially in Tau Māori, storytelling is that cornerstone of cultural identity. And so recording those personal histories really kind of honour that cultural heritage. So that's really the upshot of what biographies are. I'm sure you might have questions about what hospice does in general. But I've also got Annie here, who's the whānau support team leader and a social worker, who is much more connected to what that work does and the value to our community.
Hi. Do you have, so you've got something to share as well, Annie?
Yes.
Yep,
Is that
go for
okay?
it. Yep, you can.
Hello. So I'm Annie Hawkes. I'm a social worker at Hospice Wairarapa, and one of the services that we provide is biography. We now have 17 trained biographers that work for us, and some of those might do almost back-to-back biographies. Each biography takes approximately between 50 and 60 hours of work for the biographer.
Is it 50 and 60?
Yeah, between 50 and 60. That does presume everything goes smoothly for both the biographer and the client. Sometimes the journey is interrupted by treatment or illness, but the actual time spent with we try and match the biographer with the individual so that there's a matching of just a sort of harmony of who fits with who. Sometimes that might be gender, age, lifestyle, and sometimes some of our best matches have been the most unmatched. It's just been random and who's available. We don't like to keep people waiting because our clients don't have time on their hands. So the individual time that the biographer meets with the person is around 6 hours. So that's 5 to 6 hours of time, and that's split up depending on the individual's well-being. And they get to talk about whatever they want to. It's completely up to them. They can just talk about their working life. They can just talk about their kids. They can just talk about whatever. There's no prescribed thing. It's not a traditional memoir or biography. So sometimes that is quite interesting because people exclude some interesting things, but the biographer's job is not to be there, to massage that in any way. So we use a transcription service, and they go along with a recorder. They record for as long, around 50 minutes, and then they transcribe that, and their job is then to edit that into a document. It's around, on average, it's a bit bigger than a booklet, like Gretchen described. It's a sort of small, slimmer book. It's about, on average, between 50 and 70 pages. And then we include photos that they provide. So some are very traditional, beginning at someone's birth and pictures of them with their family, and then through, life's course, marriage, children, houses, jobs. And sometimes they're really not, they're just about their hobbies. Particularly gentlemen, I have to say, might have a whole booklet on all the cars they've owned, or motorbikes, or friend groups, but it really is their story. And they're not always happy. If people, when they consent to doing a biography, they've often thought really hard about what they want to include and what they don't want to include, and they're at a place usually where they don't want to edit. They don't want to mute some of the hard stuff. So sometimes that's really quite difficult for biographers. They hear some really sad life stories. So lots of, the deep, dark stuff of our lives are recorded. At the beginning of the process, they decide who they want it given to, should they die during that process, or who they want it given to. They give consent, and at the end, if that does happen, then it's given to the family as is. So if that story stops midway, then it's still completed and given to the family as agreed previously. So incredible social history is recorded, and we encourage people also to lodge some of those with the archives here in the Wairarapa. But yeah, it's an amazing process for people, and people often will say, well, I agreed because my kid wanted me to, but I haven't got anything to say. But they have amazing life stories. Ordinary people are very interesting. So, yeah.
Really? Yeah, does anyone have any questions? Whatever.
When you said that at the beginning of the process they say who they want to give it to, can they then at the end of the process maybe think about what they've put in and maybe extend it to who, to include other...
People can change their mind at any point. Sometimes people at the beginning are quite reticent, and they will exclude people. They'll I've got 3 children, but I only want you to give it to this one. And then during that process, I guess some that narrative therapy and that softening happens, and they're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So yes, it does change all the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Stella?
Cool, thank you. Thank you for presenting. So the 90 books that you aim to produce, I'm guessing that's not over 1 year, that will be over a few years, or would you get through that? That's a year?
Yeah, because of the increase in the referrals, but plus because we've been able to get a whole lot of volunteers together. We used to operate with about 4 or 5 biographers, and now, as Annie said, we've got 17.
14 are currently working.
14 are currently working, yeah. With that, we actually... That's not overestimating it.
Wow, that's incredible.
We would hope that we would get those out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a bulge, what I thought was a bulge recently, of 14, and as soon as they were printed, I've got new people to do. So I'm still at 14 at the moment.
Keeping print craft and business.
Yeah, they're big supporters of us, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Gary?
Yeah, terrific presentation. The biographers, they go through special training, do they?
Yes.
To do this?
Yeah. So we actually do the training in-house now, but we were taught by Tiamanga, biographer, came over and ran training for us at the beginning. Yeah. So it is quite a prescribed format. Basically, the emphasis is on not changing the words of the person. You're very much a conduit for their story to be heard. Yeah.
And do you confine this because of the constraints to clients of yours?
Yeah.
This is not something that somebody could just come off the street and say, I wouldn't mind using one of your biographers.
No, but you do have to be in your last year of life, generally, yeah. But we take out, our referrals come from Kahukura, the palliative specialist service, they come from GPs, they come from rest homes. We've got a couple of rest homes that refer to us regularly.
I just thought I'd add, not only do they get the training at the beginning, but then we've also got regular catch-ups throughout, throughout the year to make sure that we're just keeping abreast of, how everyone's going and having that extra support.
Good thinking, because it's quite an emotional journey that they walk with people. So we meet with them every other month, but they're free to come in and they do often. But just to check in with people.
And the biographers are doing this voluntarily?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
And that's kind of why we asked, so volunteer costs, we have got a part of that in our application because we try to offer petrol vouchers if needed. When we do meet, we make sure there is some kaya there for them and we try to look after them as much as we can. But the petrol voucher, we don't want any barriers to people being able to do it. So
and
that's part of those volunteer costs.
And our recorders.
Our recorders, yes.
One of them went bung just before we left. So,
Thank you very much, everyone. So what will happen now is we'll be back in touch with you within the next 2 weeks just to let you know the result of your application. So again, thank you for your time and thank you for your presentation. It's really appreciated.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Now I'll welcome Lynn Bushu and Graham Gray, speaking on behalf of Cobblestone Trust. Thank you both. Share the process with you. So it's a 10-minute presentation, so 7 minutes for you to present, and then 3 minutes for questions as well. Cool. And just a reminder that the meeting's being live streamed on the Masterton District Council YouTube channel, and Harriet will ring a bell after 7 minutes just to give you a heads up around time. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to do this. Tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Lynn Bushell. I'm the chair of Cobblestones Trust. And we have Graham Gray, who is our operations manager at Cobblestones. I'm sure, how many people, can I just ask, have actually been to Cobblestones recently in the last year? Yeah, right. There's been quite a lot of changes going on around there at the moment. So our application here, as you can see, is for operational funding. We are doing our level best to fund as many ways by developing partnerships and looking at cost cutting and also finding just about anything. We're open to anything and we're becoming more of a community hub. So we've just recently, as you all know, will be aware of, we've just built a new development to house our dairying, our sawmill and our horse-drawn vehicles. And we found that the horse-drawn vehicle section has now also been multi-purposed to become a room which is available for hire. And since it opened in July, we've had a radio play in performances in there, we've had musical performances in there, and we've had various meetings held in there already. So it's going to be a space which we can bring some more income in. But one of the things that we find particularly is that we are a regional museum. We've been in existence for over 50 years and we are definitely a regional museum. And in the past, I think we've tended not to actually, promote that as much as we could have, I think. I think we've known it within the organisation, but not necessarily out. So we're starting to bring that out. The benefits that we bring to the community obviously are quite wide because it's cultural and heritage. It's not only about people coming into Cobblestones and finding their identity, their family histories, it's about all the buildings. And one of the things that a lot of people say when they come through is they like the fact that they're not just going into a room and looking at something, they're actually going into those living buildings. So it's like a living village, and that meets a lot of people. It's a great hub. We have a lot of events that we do through there for the community, and some of you will have been aware of Illuminations that just was on just recently. I mean, that had 5,000 people come through in a week. So, you know, it's very much meeting a lot of the social well-being. We do have an economic impact in that the people that come through and visit with us also often stay in the area. So that puts money into the coffers of the Wairarapa. And we're telling Wairarapa's story. But Graham also has some rather interesting facts that I'm just going to let him talk about it because he's better at it than me. Oh yeah, I'll just give you these. Where did I put them? You can just pass them around. They're here.
That's great.
I only put 4 because I'm sure not everybody wants them, but this is what Graham is going to address right now. So the first one is the Donald Woolshed.
Was there not another copy?
No, I'll give it
sorry.
It's Donald Woolshed first.
I thought there was another copy. Okay, there's 3, I'll call, they're not items, there's 3 stories that we tell there, which Masterton is Masterton's history. One is the Donald Woolshed. I'm not sure whether anybody knows the history of the Donald family within the Wairarapa, but they were based here in Masterton. They had their manufactured here the wool presses, wire strainers and other farm equipment. I understand that business is still going in, I think it's Hamilton, but that started here and was based here, and the woolshed was on the farm where the Copthorpe is now. And that was removed from that site so they could build the Copthorpe Hotel over to Solway Showgrounds, and it sat there for I think about 6 years, and they didn't do anything with it and deteriorated, and then it was offered to Cobblestones, and Cobblestones took up the offer and was then brought down to Cobblestones. We've had that restored about 7 years ago, and we've upgraded it again since. The other one is the Pukakaha school, which is on the road out to Castle Point, and so that is telling the story, and it's really surprising the number of people that come in and say that was my grandparents, or that was my auntie, or that was my, because we have the photos of over the years of people that go through the school, and that is used when we particularly have school groups come through. That we have a teacher there. We have a group this afternoon actually. There's a teacher there and goes through how the schools were operated in the late 1800s to 1900s. And then the other one is the WAGs, the history of WAGs manufacturing horse-drawn vehicles. I'm not sure whether many of you knew that or not. But WAGs here, which still are still operated, they manufactured horse-drawn vehicles here on the site where Countdown is, and they also exported. So we have 2 wagons there, and we tell just a little bit of that story. We want to expand on that, particularly within the new facility where we will have a space to be able to tell the story of the WAG industry, the horse-drawn vehicle industry within the Wairarapa. So they're the three main stories of history that we are telling for Wairarapa, but actually coming from Masterton.
What was the name of the school that you...
Mangapakeha.
Yeah.
The Mangapakeha School.
Yeah, that was a single teacher school.
Yeah, so one of the new things that we've got this year, been developing this year, is a whole new educational program, which we're bringing in so that the teachers, we're lining it to the school curriculum, so that teachers will be able to come in and have a resource pack that they can download, or if they want to, they can amend it, obviously. But that's a new initiative that we're bringing in this year. We've just been approached by Te Papa to take on their giant squid exhibition for them over December, January, so that's going to be quite awesome. So there's that, and of course the events that we sort of do there, that we ourselves, we do our annual fair day, which most of you may or may not have known about. That's always held every year in the beginning of the school holidays, generally, and around about September, end of September, beginning of October. I think last year we brought about 1,000 people in through that. Christmas carols at Christmas, we always do that one. They're community ones, and we generally only ask koha for people to come into those. So, as I said, we don't charge everybody absolutely everything for coming in. You know, like some other museums that we know are a lot more expensive than us, and some of those are being funded by various other people, but we tend to work purely very much that we are a community-based organisation. I have got one thing to update you on. We did get $7,500 from Masterton. So I have got here for you, if you just want it for your own records. I'm not sure how many of you are here around the room, but I have got the update, if anyone's interested, if you want to keep it. It's got the updated figure at the end. So you can see a lot of our figures the last few years have looked like we've had a lot of money. But that's really all been for the Two Sheds project, which was a $600,000 project. So I came on to this role last year, and one of the things I did discover is that some of those had been put into our operational income. They'd been put in the wrong place instead of being sitting down. So this year we're sorting it all out so that what's project money stays. I mean, they were in project accounts, but they'd just been put into the operational funding. So our operational funding looked like it was more than it actually was. And so even though I would put out the side, this is for this and this is for this, we're getting it sorted this year. So we can clearly see where we get funding that comes in from councils into operations to be used for operational purposes versus funding that's coming in for projects. So the budget that I put in for you would show you if we had no support from councils, and the worst scenario, no support from councils, we couldn't find anything else that would be the position that we would be in, which is quite scary for us. So I guess what we're doing is you have supported us in the past. Thank you. You've supported us in the past, which we're really grateful for. But we'd ask, would you please reconsider, because last year we didn't have any funding from the council, and I know things are tight for you guys as well. But I would ask that you consider that we are a regional museum and we are promoting and providing services to people from Masterton just as much as we are anywhere else in Wairarapa. Any questions?
Any questions? Bex?
Yeah, hi Lynn.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Long time no see.
Hey, just a question, because I noticed this entity information goes back to 2024. We used to always have a Masterton District Council representative on the Cobblestones
Yes, we
board.
do.
Is that still the case or not?
Yes, we do. I just was checking this with, not Heidi, her name starts with H. Harriet, yes. Harriet, yes, I was just checking with you, was I Harriet? Yeah, just to make sure
Is that Brent, is it?
Yeah, Brent Gooden, yeah. And I was just checking because we know Masterton have advised that they do not wish to have any represented from the council on our board. So I was just checking with Harriet, and she said when the new council comes in, that'll be a decision that they will address at that time. Thank you, Harriet.
No, that was all. Thank you.
Yep.
Any more questions? Just what sort of proportion of visitors come from Masterton? Do you have any record of that?
We will be able to tell you probably in our end of year figures, which are being collated at the moment. We just haven't quite got our last year's figures in, and it will only go from partway through last year. I started asking them would they please start telling us where percentages of people came from, because I think it's important for us as much as anyone else to know where our market is. So when we're looking at what we're doing, we're making sure we're not leaving a certain segment out in anything. So, yeah. No, I can't tell you specifically off the top of my head, but we will have those figures available.
It's recorded on our daily sheet.
Yeah.
We have a daily sheet that's filled out, and it's recorded on there.
That's for paying, yeah, that's for gate taking people.
Yeah.
People that come through the gate. People that come to us from events, because we don't ticket like it's Koha, we can't necessarily say where they're from, but we could probably work out a percentage. They're probably going to be about a similar percentage of the people that come through the gate. But we haven't got a full year of that yet. Yeah.
And with schools coming through, is there a cost to schools?
Yeah, we do charge them, but it's pretty minimal, really. Yeah, there is a charge but for that. Yeah.
And it's the same cost to all schools at the
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Gary?
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. Do you, when people fund you or give you grants, do you recognise that on a board there or anything? Do you, for instance, if we gave the money, would it be,
it's on our website.
would it be there in the facility or not? You don't?
We're quite happy for it to happen. We are absolutely happy for that to happen. We've got no problems with it. Anybody that supports us will support them. Simple as that. Yeah.
We do for major projects, the main one being when the entrance building up front there is the list of all those that contributed to that. And then the sheds project now, which is just complete, that will have a recognition board in there. But we have talked about having a board where all the contributors and our stakeholders will be recognised. We haven't put that together yet. Similar thing to like what you see the fire brigades are now putting up front, that sort of thing, yeah. Because we wouldn't survive without the stakeholders.
We will do it in our publication, editorial things. If we're talking about something that someone's funded, we will acknowledge the funding that we got from people, because we do understand that your ratepayers want to know where the money's being spent as well. So, yeah.
Right, thank you both for coming to present to us. Thank you for your time and presentation. So we'll be back in touch with you within the next 2 weeks with the result of your application.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, I'll welcome Larissa and the brass band member. That's great.
Sorry, there was between the two. We'll finish work first.
To present. So it's the same as it would have been in the past. It's 10 minutes to present, and it's 7 minutes to share, and then 3 minutes for questions.
Is there any way of me connecting my phone to something to show you 2 videos?
Not sure.
It was either that or we was going to bring the whole band round.
I like
It's a bit too noisy for you.
tea afterwards.
Well, you guys got a tough job today. I mean, I do meetings, but far out. I mean, you've got some wonderful organisations here. You really have. Oh, it's tough. Yeah, they're all good. They're all brilliant. And each in their own different merits, but wow.
What instruments do you play in the band?
I play the cornet, and so does Narissa, but I've only just started. I've only been doing it for 2 years. I used to live up in Auckland for 18 and a half years, and then saw the light and come down to beautiful Wairarapa. And but I've always wanted to get my work-life balance right, and I wanted to get back to music, and luckily I reached out to Narissa, and it's been a blessing for me. I'm in the corporate world, so and it's nice to get, there is a bit of a madness there, as we all know, right? So I work for FMG now, so which is a lovely mutual company as well. But for 2 years I've been learning to play under Brian Castle and Narissa, and they treat me like a family, and it's been lovely, absolutely lovely. And I think we're doing really. So I'm on the committee now as well, just for fresh eyes.
What's your name?
My name's Phil Hinchcliffe. So so I'm on the committee now and loving it, absolutely loving it. I'll be honest with you. I've always played rugby. I'll be honest with you. Played rugby all over the place. I played in France, Australia, and even here. I used to play for Glenfield, and that was my sport. But I wanted to come back to music because I used to do the marching bands when I was younger, back in the UK. So I've been in New Zealand 21 years. So I wanted to get back to the bugle and then started that, then it's the cornet now. So yeah, it's awesome. It just gives you another, just, not everyone's a sports person. I mean, I'm retired now, I'm finished. But so you've got to give another, you've got to sell it to other people as well, haven't you? You've got to give them an option as well. You see, not all of us are sports orientated. So music, I think, is just a lovely thing that anyone can pick up at any age as well. And hopefully I can justify that as well, because we've done a big concert on Saturday, Boulders Brass at St Matthews, and it was superb, absolutely superb. And I just love it, absolutely love it. I mean, it's you can carry on do it to there you go, draw the last breath. So it's absolutely superb, and as long as you've got the right attitude, and that's what I want to try and do with the band at the moment, because it is a massive community thing, and it's great for kids and adults as well, to get into. So I want to, hopefully we can provide that service and get it out there to the community. Hopefully we can, really be open arms, totally transparent with the mums and dads as well. So we had them all come back after our concert on Saturday. So we were open house, and we just want everyone to be involved, because it is. I think Masterton should be very proud of this band. 1873. It's been going, and I think that is something you should be very, very proud of, because history in New Zealand is, so we're only 200 years old, we're still a young country, and Masterton is predominantly farming, and it's lovely that you've got a brass band here, because the good thing about a brass band, anyone can play it, like farmers as well. You get them into their barn, and off they can go, be noises, whatever, but it's a good release, isn't it?
It's not quite everyone.
It's harder than you thought.
Yeah,
it's harder than you think.
But it's nice that they can get out there.
It's your 7 minutes up, Narissa.
He's great for that.
Well, I can talk.
Talking whilst you're playing your corner.
No wonder you. Hey, it's really gorgeous. Hey, they keep them quiet.
That's right. Yeah, that's what they do.
Right, Narissa.
MC. So I was just filling in time before.
I can't connect to your.
I haven't finished it.
You can wait. I can't connect to your internet, but I was trying to share a clip of our junior band recently. So if you guys get a chance, pop on our Facebook page and you'll see it. But our junior band was practicing for a concert they had to do, which was on Saturday actually. I invited all of you. So this is people that are between 8 and 15 playing. We've now got a little drummer boy that is part of our junior band, which is quite cool, because every band needs a drum. So if you get a chance, pop on and have a look. The guy that is the lead trumpeter, cornet player, he's been playing for 1.5 years. And he will be in our senior band next year. That's kind of what happens. Some take years, some take, we've got some that take a few years, we've got some that are very fast. So we're here because we want to promote music in the youth. We weren't anywhere actually. Phil was an adult learner. We've got a 7-year-old lady that's learning at the moment, tenor horn. Doesn't matter how old you are, you want to learn, we'll help you learn. That's kind of our goal, really. And it isn't as easy as just picking up an instrument and blowing. Is like blowing a raspberry, I can describe it. So, you blow a raspberry in a kid's tummy, that's what you're doing constantly, playing as well. So, it does take time. It can take anything. For some people, they're 3 or 4 months before they can get anywhere. So we go into 5 schools at the moment. We've got 57 kids learning, and we're wanting to add to another school, because the more schools we go into means more opportunities. We do have students from other schools that come to us on a Tuesday afternoon. Hadlow, we've got a girl from Makora, we've got a boy from Munninburra, and we've got a young fella from Kiranui College, because they all wanted, so we bring them in and we do lessons in the band room. But that does get hard. We have to try and move around, but we do it. So we're looking at one more school. We start from year 4, but they're 8 years of age, and then the best time, because they need their front teeth. If you've got no front teeth and you're trying to blow, it's just a lot of air, and it doesn't quite work. We're in Lakeview, St Patrick's, Douglas Park, MIS and Chanel College. And we're hoping to get that. Waipa College is looking forward to the fact that kids from MIS are moving to them and they'll get that on. Same with Chanel, we have the St Pat's kids, but then we've got the Lakeview kids, which is great because we have year 4 to year 8. So we've got them for a little while. There's a whole side of them. So that's kind of cool. As for the senior band, well, without a senior band, you don't have a junior program, and without a junior program, you don't have a senior band. They feed each other. So we always have to look after our senior band because that needs just as much support as our junior band. We've just got a new conductor. He started Monday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Our guy that we originally had came from Wellington and he travelled over every night, but it was getting too much. So a local guy called Craig Thompson, some of you might know, he did take us in 2010 and had to give up because he had to have a kidney transplant. He's now back here working full time, so he's come back to us, which is good. Our plan this year was to be out in the community, so we've done 2 concerts in the last couple of months. You all would have got my invite for the one we just had on Saturday. And so we played as well as our junior band played. We've got a busy time coming up with Christmas, as you all know. We work with Masterton, and we got our truck on a Thursday night, which is quite cool. Monday nights we go to rest homes. We give back to the elderly because they're kind of mainly our clientele. Not very rude, they love brass bands. And then we're out and doing Christmas parades, caroling on the Saturday and the Sunday. The junior band cops out and does one in the rest home too for a couple of nights. That's kind of how we roll, really, isn't it, Phil?
It is, 100%. So the money, if we were successful, what do we need it for? So we need to maintain and grow the learners program. We are working hard with the schools because that's growth, and that's your future. Well, whatever you think, you've got to have the future come through. We are really working hard with the Brilliant Brass program with Narissa and Brian, and they're going to 5 schools. We're trying to expand now because they need us as well. Because obviously, education they look at costs for running music as well, and it is hard for them. So hopefully, we can provide them a good service as well. There is loads of, I could carry on talking, but I'm going to bore you. And I know you've got a busy day today, but obviously we've got instruments, we've got the admin, the tutoring, and then obviously the senior side as well, because I think that's the tap, is it?
It's the tap for
That's the tap, right. Okay. But as you can imagine, all I will say, 1873, it's a fantastic bit of history in Masterton. It's real, and I'm one that I'm very, very proud to be playing for. I can honestly tell you that. So a town without a band is not a complete entity, and that was from one of your old mayors, I hope N.S. Tankasi, and he was the mayor of Masterton in 1973, and that's something to be proud of. Seriously, something to be proud of. I love it. You're going to have a new town hall soon, and I'm really pleased with what you're doing there. I have to be honest with you. Back you 100%. You're going to need us to open it for you. And we'll be there proud, wearing our uniforms, and we'll play what you want to play. We'll make it a flipping good night for you. And we'll really make a really good ceremony for you. So I'm hoping I can sell it for you. I know, as I said to you right from the start, you've got some fantastic organisations there. I don't know how you're going to choose. And I wish you the best for all that. But I'm putting our case forward. I'm going to be biased. So please, hopefully you can consider us. We are working hard with the pipe band as well, so we're working in conjunction with them, so look out for the next concert, because that's going to be loud and proud.
So our goal is to make sure there's a brass band in the Masterton district for another 150 years, but our other goal is actually to teach children music, because it doesn't get taught in schools now. I got taught recorder. My daughters at Douglas Park. They don't get taught that. She does get taught cornet now because she's 8 and I have to teach her because she wants to be like mum. But music is important. It's part of the education. It's part of everything in life. And I've come across so many people as adults, I wish I'd learned at school. Well, get your kids to do it because it's their chance, you know. They might not stay with us. We had one young fella that learned to play the cornet and he actually went to the pipe band and the pipe band gained him. But he learned to read music from us, you know, so he had that one extra skill when he went to them that he didn't have to learn. And that's okay. We've got others that have moved towns. The one's going in Christchurch, one's now playing for the Junior Wellington Brass Band. We taught them and then they've moved on. That's okay too. Yeah. So yeah, that's us really.
Thanks, Narissa and Phil. Now, does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Phil.
I'll just ask one. How do you keep the prices so low and
we apply for grants and the band itself between that because we know, I don't know if you noticed in our figures, but we had to write off $600 from tuition last year because we know it's hard. We know it's not easy. I'm a mum myself and we're full-time work, part-time, you know. It's hard, so we try everything we can to try and give those kids the opportunity because maybe that's the best corner player in New Zealand. They might travel the whole entire world or, you know, it might not be, but every kid needs that opportunity. So we have kept it the same price for, last 3-4 years? And it is hard, trust me. An instrument, so our biggest instrument, which is a B-flat tuba, that's $25,000. Okay, yeah, it's a car. They don't last forever. Even our junior instruments, so our junior cornet, which they start off with, that's like $600. But a trombone is $1,500. A baritone's like $5,000. The band pays that because no parent could afford to pay that for their child, which means they're never going to get a chance. So we're aware of that. We know it's not easy on their parents, you know, but they need that chance. I know Stella's 2 kids tried. They had to go with us, and that was great. They had to go. Hopefully they got something out of it. Yeah.
I just plays the drums.
Oh, well, there you go. So, yeah, still we're musical way. And as you know, Tim, we're at your school, you know. 3 of our kids are in our junior band. They were both all sick on Saturday, but that's okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Narissa and Phil, for your time and for your passion and
Yes,
what you do for our community. So we'll be back in touch with you within the next 2 weeks with the result of your application.
Thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Good luck. Thanks for making it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the next concert, we'll put the flyers out again.
Mike's left, he's gone off Rotorua. And our president was working today.
Yeah.
Oh, 3:35. We might make it 3:40 actually, just a little bit longer.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
So we'll start back at 3:40, okay? Just a little bit later than the schedule.
Next citizenship ceremony, 54 already.